P3d pilots. A few of you asked me last week how I recorded some of my flight videos, and I'm just going to show you how to do it now. So what I use is track IR. I also use an Xbox controller to control the views, which is far easier than using any of the hat switches, even though I have got an X55 Rhino with about 5 hat switches or not, something like that. But it's a lot easier just using Xbox controller. And if you have a look in the options here in the settings and controls and click on buttons at the top, controller type Xbox 360 controller, you go over to the right here to flight mode and click observer. You have all these different movements of the observer. So backwards is D-pad down, down is left shoulder, and so on. So what I've done is I programmed all those into my Xbox controller, and you'll see in a minute what happens when I press all those buttons. So if I click OK, and here we've actually got a recording I did earlier, and I'm nearly on final here. And what I'm going to do is click on views and click observer management, create new observer at the top here, and I name it end of runway because that's where I'm going to position the camera in a second. We're going to grab the relative position. Own ship is our own aircraft. Just to show you what happens with the relative offset, I'm going to put it 0 meters left. If you put minus meters, so if you put minus 10, it will actually be 10 meters to the right instead of left. What I'll do is I'll put it minus 2 meters, so that's down 2 meters, and then minus 10 meters, so I'm going to be behind 10 meters, and click OK. And then if you look in the view settings here, focal length, I'm not really sure what actually happens here. What I might do is click world focus instead, so that can't be adjusted there. And if you look at the field of view, the horizontal field of view, 45 degrees. So basically where I'm looking from, I can see 45 degrees in front of me. If I bring that down, it will narrow the field of view, so it'll look like I'm zooming in a little bit. So I'll put that down to 35 degrees, click lock aspect ratio, and then it'll calculate the vertical angle there. And then the top right here, camera effects, we want to put the FXAA on and the HDR post processing on, and that will improve the graphics a little bit. And then the manipulation behavior is basically how much the Xbox controller moves the camera around. I tend to have it on linear step 1 meter, so I can finally adjust it, angular step of 1 degree, like so, and then create observer. That's created, click OK and close that, and then I'll right click and click end of runway. So now I'm behind the aircraft, as you can see. Undercarriage is down, I think I'm on full flap there. Now what I can do is move the camera around with my Xbox 360 controller. So on my D-pad I've done step right, step left, step forward, step back. I've done the shoulder buttons as up and down, and then X and B, they control the angle, so I'm pressing B there to the right, X to the left, and then Y to go up and A to go down. And I've also put the thumbsticks in there because then I can move it around like that, but I'd use track IR anyway, so I don't really tend to use that. I just angle that down. So here you can see my aircraft. Let's try not to lose it. So here we go, we can just have a quick look around. Just moving the camera around, like so. Now what I want to do now is position this camera by the runway, but it will just take too long if I just press forward, just sit there like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the observer, go into observer management, click end of runway. I'm going to change the linear step size to 20, finish editing, Okay, close that. Now I can move at super speed. I'll bring the camera down just to the side like so, around the trees. Oh, there we go. To the left, right. And then I'm going to change that observer back to 1 meter, so now I can finely tune that camera. And what you'll find is that because I've moved the camera, it changes the position and orientation here. And this bank angle is quite good because you can sort of add a little bit of an effect, like you're not holding the camera straight as the aircraft's coming in. And the pitch is changed by pitch and heading are changed by the angular step. So I click finish editing there. Okay, close that. Now I can turn the camera around. Try and get past the threshold if I can. So now the linear step is lower. I can now finely tune where the camera is going to be. Now, because I use track IR, I'm going to aim the camera so it's looking towards the runway like that. So now I can look to my left and to my right as the aircraft goes past. And the bank angle's changed it slightly so the horizon's not quite straight. So it adds a little bit of an effect. I can tilt my head in track IR just to adjust a little bit. I'm not going to. And as you can see there, my aircraft is just coming in on final. So what I'll do now is I'll continue my playback that I recorded earlier, and you'll be able to see my aircraft come in on final. I'm going to try and pan with my track IR. There we go. And that's it. And that is how I recorded my views. So if you've got any extra questions, just give me a shout. Take care.